An excruciating pain in Lakita's knee was her mom's wake-up call. They had just lost their dad to colon cancer and couldn't take chances. Lakita was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, which is a type of bone cancer that led to amputation of her leg to stop any further spread of the cancer. Take a look at her story.
She was born in the year 2006, a bouncing baby girl to her parents, who named her Lakita, meaning a precious jewel. In the year 2017, Lakita was an active sports member, but would frequently find the pain in her knee interfering with her sports nature.
Lakita was born a healthy child, but 2017, she started complaining of pain on her right leg. Like after sports, she would complain of pain around the knee. So there is this one day she complained a lot. Then all through the night she was in pain. So in the morning we decided to go to the hospital. At the hospital they did a scan of the knee, and they said they were seeing something like they weren't sure what they saw. They thought it was either infection or a tumor.
Joyce Wambui, Lakita's mother, had nursed her husband while undergoing cancer treatment a few years earlier, and she did not want to take chances with her daughter's pain in the knee. She immediately made arrangements to seek specialized treatment in India.
So they gave me an appointment to go back after 2 weeks. But when I went back home, I Googled a lot, and thinking of the dad died of cancer, so I was suspecting it could be something else. So after the 2 weeks I went, the doctor was not there, so I was told another 3 weeks to see the doctor. That's when I decided to take her to India.
It was while in India that doctor diagnosed Lakita with osteosarcoma, a cancer of the bones, and took time to explain to them how long the treatment would take and the likelihood of a prosthetic leg.
Dad, it was different. He had colon cancer. He would complain of stomach pain. For a very long time, we would go from one doctor to another, and by the time they realized it was cancer, it was too late. Yeah, so this time I didn't want to take chances. I took her to India, and they immediately did a biopsy of that tumor, and they diagnosed, they said it was osteosarcoma. It's cancer of the bone. And when they told us it was cancer, they explained how they would treat it, and they told us we would be there for 6 months.
After being in India for quite some time, they returned home. Lakita had missed a whole academic year, but her health was more important than anything else.
School was a top priority, but I was thinking of her health first. So I was like, do I make her repeat school, or what do we do? But then I was like, no, let's try and catch up. 'Cause she missed class 6 that term, class 7 first term, and second term. So she was joining class 7 that term. So I got some teachers who would come home and help her catch up. And you know, back in India, she could not study. With chemo, I would tell her to study, and I would find her sleeping. Because of the side effects, it was tough on her. She could not touch a book and concentrate. Yeah.
The jovial Lakita, who is super excited about finishing her KCPE recently, had a dozen of questions to ask the mother during her treatment. She remembers how difficult it was, and more so when she realized that she would have to lose her hair.
That day we went for an x-ray. I sat down and I asked Mom, what's a tumor? Then she was like, it's a growth in the knee that just come. And I was just okay with it. I didn't know what exactly it was, but it was just okay.
Lakita had to go through chemo and gives details of her experience. Her mother, being more conversant with the treatment, explained step by step.
Yeah, her treatment was chemotherapy. And then after 3 months, she underwent surgery. Then they had to do chemotherapy again for another 3 months.
When my hair fell out, I cried. And then my mom was telling me not to cry. Weh. I had long hair. And then it was just coming out with my braids. I cried. And like, there are no other children there because when you have cancer, your immune is low, so you can't meet other children because that's very risky to infections.
Lakita's mother exhibits a lot of positivity, which played a crucial role in her daughter's treatment as it rubbed off Lakita as well, making the process much easier than it really was.
I'm also a positive person. I don't look at the negativity of it. Now, because she had cancer, we had to... I didn't look at it like she was dying because the dad died. Yeah, I was happy they realized she had it early. I think it was going to the second stage. So I was happy they found it early and she was getting treatment.
In solidarity with her daughter, Wambua shaved off her hair together with Lakita's aunties to show her that they were with her all the way.
When you're talking, maybe I want to make my hair, then I look at her. When I talk about hair, I realize she doesn't like that conversation. So I had to cut my hair so that we talk about the same things now, cutting the hair. So we had to grow it back together.
Last year, Lakita had to face another hurdle during treatment, but this time they were ready for it. Doctors decided to amputate her leg, then do a bone marrow transplant, and soon after, several sessions of chemos followed.
We went back for checkup and the pain was too much then. That's when they realized there was another tumor, not now on the knee, but on the thigh. Yeah. So the only option they had was to cut the leg. Nothing else they could not save the leg this time. So they did amputation 2020, January 23rd. By then, we were ready for it because the pain the girl was going through with this metal thing, we were like, let them get rid of the leg now. We were okay with it. In fact, now it's other people who are asking us, do they have to do it? Our family would call us, do they have to do the amputation? But for us, it was okay. So we had made a decision. No one was going to tell us anything else.
Despite going through a tough time away from home, Lakita's mother had to remain strong and up to date with the treatments her daughter was undergoing. Hence, they need to do a lot of research.
Every time after every test the doctor would send us, when I get the results, I would go to Google, type. You see where they put the summary, I would type it on Google and study to see what it meant. So when they told us you're going for this, I had to Google, ask other people. I have relatives who know doctors somewhere, they would inquire us.
Wambui advises parents not to assume their children when they complain of pain, but rather get them checked to avoid late diagnosis.
Kids, in fact, there are parents who call me, my daughter has pain. But when they go to hospital, they are told it's infection, it can be arthritis. Yeah, there are other things. So it's good to see a doctor. It doesn't have to be cancer.
Lakita is lucky that she had a very supportive team at her school who helped her in catching up.
The first time I went to school, I have my best friend. Her name is Maureen. She would help me a lot. She'd help carry my bags and everything. Everyone was supportive. There was surprisingly no bullies. Everyone was just acceptable.
The teachers also had prepared, I think, her class before we came back, because I was in touch with the teachers. So they had prepared them and told them, no, don't be too, it's too what? Just treat her normally. Yeah.
She still has checkups every now and then, the next one being in June.
So after 6 months we went. So we went back in January this year. Now again in June. Then another 6 months we will go. But depends with what they see on the tests that they do.
Cancer is not a death sentence according to Wambui. People need to be more positive and focus on conquering the disease. Wambui also insists on eating right as it plays a crucial role in one's health.
Many people think when you're diagnosed with cancer, you will die. In fact, I saw another day someone commented on Facebook, why do people go to India and they will still come back and die? So many people think that when you get cancer, you will die, even after treatment. I want to tell people, there are people who survive, there are people who have been alive for so many years with cancer. So it's not a death sentence. There is a can in cancer. So it's not a death sentence. I think we are eating a lot of dirty things. We need to all change our diet. There are people who go without vegetables. Maybe they only do nyama choma, ugali. And then I think the way Kenyans we eat, we do a lot of carbohydrates, very little veggies, and maybe little protein. We need to know how to balance our foods. We have a lot of food, but we don't make good use of it. It's not expensive.
Lakita concluded by speaking to her fellow children.
Hi, children or teens. Don't lose hope, don't be negative during treatment or after treatment. It's not the end of life. You can still do other things. Like me, I like to dance. Yeah, so don't lose hope. You can still do some other things, like just be positive. Usione ni kama you're less than anyone else, because you just like them and they're just like you. Yeah.
Cause we're differently abled, differently.